righty.
This isn't it.
Yeah, that's far
We are
back here.
a big proponent of solar.
Right.
We have tons of it, so why not use it?
Okay.
So this building is our mechanical building, has 4 solar panels on the roof that supply all of our electrical needs except one, which is pumping water. The well here is very, very deep. That's why this isn't a developed area. So we have a 3 horsepower motor running the well pump, which we use a generator for. So that's the only thing we use the generator for, basically, unless we need backup, which hasn't occurred in many years. And again, the 4 solar panels on the roof supply more than ample electrical. Back up a little further and get a better view of a couple of other solar components. One being the skylight, which lights up the room inside because we have no windows, primarily for security reasons, and a little solar panel on the corner, which actually keeps the battery charged in the generator, so we can go over and push a button and start it. So it's an electric start, always kept charged. This little bump out on the side of the outhouse building, as we call it, is our shower. When we first moved here, this was our shower, makeshift. We had bladders of water. We laid in the sun. They got hot. We hung them up and had a very enjoyable shower. But it was a little work filling the bag every day and laying it in the sun. So eventually I built a hot water shower system you see here in this bump out. This elongated piece of glass covering the black tubes is heating water right now. It's a thermosiphon system, and you can read about that anywhere online, which heats up a 30-gallon tank of water. So right now, 30 gallons is probably over 100 degrees, which provides a comfortable shower. And on a sunny day like this, it'll probably get up to 110 degrees, which means at 3 in the morning, the 30 gallons will be 100 degrees. So you have hot water anytime, basically, the sun shining. The drawback, of course, is those cloudy days or stormy days when you don't have the heating effect going on. So you still have tepid water. You can still have the bags, and you can heat up some water with the stove because we got propane, and alternatives to the solar if it doesn't function overnight. The other panel, the square one to the right, is a thermosiphon hot air collector, which heats that shower very well just by convection. Sun heats that black metal up behind the glass. The air in there then rises, goes in a vent at the top, drawing cooler air in from the building at the bottom. And the size is a little bit less than about 10% of the floor space of the building you're trying to heat. So in a 100 square foot building, you have 10 square feet of collector. In our main house over here, we have a larger collector, which right now has that house up to about 75, 80 degrees. In the dead of winter, when it's still 40, 50 degrees outside, it provides comfortable room temperatures in that building of 70 degrees. At night, of course, it cools down, so we add a little supplemental propane heat. So in that sense, propane isn't the greenest, but we don't abuse it. We fill this tank once a year, and we still never have run out. We still never run even low. But once a year, and when the propane prices are at their least, which is usually August, we'll fill it, top it off.
So if you come up with a name for your philosophy, if you come up with a name for your philosophy. Now I know you said that pure green is not the way you're doing it, but have you thought of is it like a compromise? That's probably not the good word, but
I heard it somewhere online, reuse, recycle, I forgot the other terms, but that's kind of our philosophy. If you turn around, you can see these lumber piles. Don't look like much, but this is all lumber that would have ended up in a landfill somewhere. Some of it isn't real straight, but some of it is beautiful. we have in this pile, you can see all this tongue and groove stuff is going to be for our ceilings in our main house when we build it someday. Doesn't look like much here, but by running this through a little surface planer, you restore the wood to a like new condition. It's all tongue and groove, expensive ceiling stuff, which you can see a whole bunch right in there, which I picked up for literally pennies on the dollar.
So you're actually saving something that would be just grist for a landfill, right?
Some of this stuff I found at estate sales. Those glass, aluminum framed glass windows you see sticking up there, there's 7 or 8 of them. We were at a estate sale earlier this year, and the woman said, "You want them?" And so they're free. They would have just thrown them away as trash.
Wow.
So that will be building possibly a solarium on the south side of this new adobe building. In other words, I may come out like 6 or 8 feet and build a room which will act as a solarium slash greenhouse slash solar collector. That room will get literally hot in the middle of winter, and those tubes I showed you in the walls will exchange that air, heating the building very well. And again, that philosophy of using the sun is probably the biggest savings up here. Again, if sun provides all our electrical needs day to day. We have our inverter that provides our 110 volt AC power. Has not been turned off in 3 years. And again, when I was at the observatory running their system, it was on continuously and worked really well. Our battery bank is large enough to supply 15 kilowatts of power for 1 hour.
Wow.
Another way to look at that is 1 kilowatt of power for 15 hours. Because of the nature of the batteries, they're deep cycle batteries meant to supply low power for long periods and then be recharged periodically, in our case, every day.
Okay. So it's kind of a hybrid, isn't it? I mean, your ways of coping and living out here.
Oh yeah, it's a hybrid way of living. If you follow me, we
Sure.
have a lot of solar path lights we picked up at a flea market. They were old and weren't working very well. That's why I think they were selling them, because the nickel cadmium batteries they have in them only have a shelf life of 8 to 10 years. So when we got them out here and tried them, a few days, they kind of pooped out on us. So went online and found a source of nickel cadmium rechargeable batteries for like 80 cents each. Not to mention, I found a source of hearing aid batteries online for 20 cents each, and they're better than Duracell.
Is that right?
So we have all our paths lit up at night, primarily in the summer. When you come out to use the outhouse or whatever at night, you want to avoid rattlesnakes
Right.
and other hazards, so they allow you to see that. Of course, we've been a big proponent of LED flashlights, which we have scarfed up because they're efficient. And here's our bird feeder. This is where our birds congregate. We provide, just by providing water, the wildlife here
Gathers, huh?
bloomed. Then by providing some seed, I mean, we've identified over 60 species of birds here. Many of them come down here regularly. We can almost predict what birds will come during what season. April 21st, the hummers return. October 20th, or scrub jay, or what's the other one? The sage thrashers will return from their northern jaunts, and they will winter here all winter.
Okay.
So we have plenty of birds here.
Okay.
Karen has taken up gardening. This is a simple cold frame. It provides us with food all winter. We grow radishes, lettuce, spinach, and so forth. The cold weather crops in here all winter. Close this at night, open it during the day. We had to put this guard on because we found out In the summertime, when we have it open, mice will crawl up and get inside and feast on whatever they can, whatever's green. Yeah, behind that opening that I blocked up a couple weeks ago, we have a fan that runs on the solar collector just above it. This unpainted building is storage, so during the summer, anytime the sun shines, it becomes ventilated. And that's a 500 CFM attic fan, commercially available. Puts us online. That's Wild Blue internet dish, pointed at a satellite. It's very reliable. This is the solar collector that heats our whole house right now. The basic house is only 200 square feet currently. When we build a house, it's going to be more like 600 or 800 square feet, which will give us ample room. But this collector works just like a thermal siphon collector. Behind the glass, black metal, heats up in the sun. That's a no-brainer.